off again on my angling travels, this time into the heart of Herefordshire, Bedwardine on the River Wye, to be precise. The Wye is famous for its salmon, especially big ones, but on this occasion we'll be after a very different species. The picturesque beat we will be fishing on is controlled by Mike Taylor of the Red Lion. An early morning start is very much the order of the day. As one day, I met up with pal John Bailey, a well-known angling author and TV presenter. Along with his wife Joy, they run successful fishing courses covering many aspects of angling, including barbel. And I was hoping to pick up a few hints and tips from a man that many regard as a true master in the art of barbel fishing. Well done. Yes, absolutely marvellous.
It's always nice to catch a fish in front of one.
John, you have a very unique and different way of catching barbel. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Fine, Andy. Yeah, I think that barbel fishing these days has become, for most people, a very static sort of affair. And most barbel anglers today tend to concentrate very much on rigs and tackle and baits. Now, my approach is really to go back to the fish and go back to the river. And what I want to do is to understand the fish, understand their behaviour patterns, know where they're lying, and catch them in that sort of way. So I'm very mobile. I won't fish a swim for more than perhaps 30 minutes. And if I don't think there's a fish there, then I'm up and I'm off. Now, I travel very light indeed. A net, bucket of bait, a couple of bits and bobs in my pocket, and I'm away. So there's nothing static in my approach. I'm reading the river, thinking where the barbel are going to be, and, if you like, hunting them actively rather than waiting for them to come to me.
What about this long-term conflict with a salmon angler? They regard it as a vermin. They think that it's taking all the salmon eggs and the sea trout eggs and the spawning reds. I think this really needs clarifying, doesn't it?
The poor maltreated barbel. What a terrible press it's had. Yeah, I think on this very river for many years the average salmon angler wanted to pin the declining salmon on the emergence of barbel. I think that most of them now, certainly one that I speak to, realise this is the case. I mean, we know, for example, that barbel inhabit the middle and lower reaches, whereas the salmon spawn way up in the headwaters of this particular river. So there's no possibility whatsoever of the barbel actually eating the salmon eggs. And as for them eating salmon parr, yes, well, I know barbel will eat minnows and they'll eat gudgeon at times, but I don't honestly see them attacking a fast-moving little fish like the salmon parr. They're not hunting for fish like that. They're hunting for things like bullheads that are actually rabble dwellers rather than something on the fin like a salmon parr. So I can honestly, hand on heart, say to any worried salmon anglers watching this, don't victimise the barbel. They are not bad news. They can and they do coexist very happily in a number of rivers.
A wonderful piece of advice to end with, but I think it's time to put our theories into practice and catch one.
Catch one? Well,
or try and catch one.
Yes.
Come on then, let's have a look.
Okay. Quite chilly this morning. It's been raining in Wales.
Ooh.
See what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's risen and coloured, and we're beginning to get rubbish coming down.
Yes.
I'm not delighted by this. I was quite lucky to pick that fish up, I think. It gave a very, very, very gentle bite.
Really?
Mm.
Real gentle pace.
Mm.
Now, how many bits of corn are you putting on?
Well, I would generally just use the 2, but as it's colouring up a little bit, I think probably we'll go for 3. Simply for visibility. I don't actually like using 3 as a general rule because I think it's a little bit harder for them to stuck it into their mouths. But
now you are well organised. You've got the bucket for the corn.
Oh yes.
I mean, mine's normally all shoved in the pocket here. And how do you know when you actually are in the area where the barbel are?
This is where I think touch ledgering, Andy, has got so much over normal quiver tipping. If you're just looking at a quiver tip day long, you don't really get much indication of what's going on down there. What you're really waiting for is just a crash bite, which generally heralds a fish that's terrified or a fish that's hooked itself. Now, with touch ledgering, what you've got is intimate contact with your bait, with the river, and widths of fish. And I find that I can absolutely nowadays interpret what's going on out there. And even if I'm not getting a bite, I'll know if there are fish in the area. And that's absolutely critical for me, because if there aren't fish in the area, then I'm simply up and I'm off. Now, what you tend to find is that if fish are present, you get all manner of telltale signs on the line. So sometimes it'll be just a quivering, sometimes it'll be a rasping and a plucking. I would think there are at least 15 or 20 little signals that are sent to my fingers over 20 yards of nylon, which tell me that there are barbel around and what they're doing. Sometimes the line just catches on the dorsal fins, sometimes it rubs down the scales, sometimes the pectorals lift the line, sometimes it knows the swim feeder. All these behavioural patterns are just transmitted magically to my fingertips, and it makes fishing very, very exciting.
For sure. What about the sort of theory that in the summertime they're like the streamy, well-aerated water, and in the wintertime they move into the more deeper, slacker water? I mean, I suppose that's a theory that should be blown.
It's a theory that should be blown sky high. To an extent, I would go, oh, that was a bite. Yes, that was a bite. Oh, nice fish.
Is that a good one?
Oh, it is a good one.
And it's such a gentle take. I mean, I never saw even the rod move. You must have just felt that really through the line. Blimey, look at that one go. Oh, look at that.
Anyway, it has proved that ledgering works.
Without a doubt. In the most spectacular way.
I'm glad you said that you didn't see anything move on the rod.
I saw
tip.
nothing. Nothing at all. I was watching intently the top of the rod.
What you tend to find, you talk to people about this method, and you say what's happening, and people, you can see on people's faces, they think, what a liar. And then they experience it for themselves. Yeah, he's not a big fish.
It's a very dogged one.
Is this a very dogged fish? There we are.
Nearly half.
Yes, I think he's yours.
And we have
Well done.
Wonderful.
Netted perfectly.
And caught perfectly. Let's have a look at him.
Shall we? Can we just keep him on these grasses, do you think?
Absolutely, we don't.
And then that way we don't really have to even put him on the bank.
Very deep fish, by the way.
Very deep fish.
I doubt very much if he's ever been hooked before.
Oh, I think we can guarantee that he hasn't.
Another virginal one.
Another virgin. Time for his return, I think?
Absolutely, time to say goodbye.
Time to say goodbye.
A worthy adversary.
Let's just
that's
hold
for
him
sure.
for a while. Slide my hand round him. Oh! He made his own mind up about that.
John, oh, wonderful demonstration.
Well, thank you very much, Andy.